Are you made for this job? A look at the impacts of pre-entry exposure and experiences by Holly Christopher. And what do you want to be when you grow up? This common question, according to Kramer, is an example of anticipatory socialization, the time leading up to when the employee joins an organization. This time can be traced as far back in a person's life as childhood, when children begin to learn that people go to work in a variety of occupations. Take, for example, a new employee just hired to work at the happiest place on earth, Disney World. All new hires there are put through a rigorous new employee orientation. During this time, they'll learn not only about the tasks assigned to them, but about the culture of the organization itself. Just like with so many other organizations, at the beginning of their time with Disney, new employees learn about social and professional norms, the beliefs and values of the organization, and how information flows. They become part of a larger team and begin to negotiate their membership within it. This shift in identification is what Stevens and Daly call situated identification, when a person picks up cues from their environment to form identification and can take place in a variety of settings. For example, identification can take place when a person is on vacation, among friends, or at a festival. Identification is important to an organization. The more strongly an employee identifies with the organization, the greater their contribution socially and professionally, and they are more likely to continue with the organization. Identification is so valuable to organizations that they have dedicated roughly $54 billion to new employee orientation programs, and studies have shown that new hires' identification with an organization is strengthened just by attending orientation. It often appears as if all new hires come in on a level playing field regarding their level of experience and knowledge of the organization. However, Stevens and Daly found that an employee's experiences prior to joining the organization can impact organizational identification. For example, a person who is an avid fan of Disney World, has visited throughout their lifetime, owns all the movies, and hosts Disney-themed birthday parties will have a different sense of membership to the organization than someone who does not share those same experiences. The enthusiast is in a state of readiness, and as they negotiate their sense of membership during new employee orientation, will experience the assimilation differently than the new employee without the same sense of connection. This results in a deeper and stronger organizational identification on the part of the Disney World fan. According to Stevens and Daly, personal experiences which are related to, but not a result of direct interaction with the organization, also impact the new hire's organizational identification. A person who grew up with singing, acting, and dance lessons, performing for an audience, has developed a state of readiness prior to joining the Disney company. This leads to an increased organizational identification with the brand. According to Stevens and Daly, personal experiences which are related to, but not a result of direct interaction with the organization, also impact the new hire's organizational identification. A person growing up with singing, acting, and dance lessons, performing for audiences, has developed a state of readiness prior to joining the Disney company. This also leads to an increased organizational identification with the brand. Based on this new knowledge that both new employee orientation and the individual's prior experiences impact organizational identification, organizations might want to consider revisiting both their hiring practices and orientation programs. During the hiring process, organizations can implement methods of discovering more about their new employees' past experiences as they relate to the organization. Based on this new knowledge that both the new employee orientation and the individual's prior experiences impact organizational identification, organizations might want to consider revisiting both their hiring practices and orientation programs. During the hiring process, organizations can implement methods of discovering more about their new employees' past experiences as they relate to the organization. Recognizing that each new employee will join the organization with a different level of identification, they can then tailor the orientation to maximize the potential for organizational identification, helping to make the most of the employee's experience and strengthening the organization.